Mr. Meehan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I want to jump off of what the gentlelady from California said about this being, looking at it from the security perspective, and also to talk about it from the perspective of what the chairman said. And this is not a partisan effort to try to go put you on the spot. And I also appreciate that you're the people that are trying to implement this, but also have grave, grave concerns about the scope of information that is being put together by this system that you put together because, you know, was required just to make it work. And I've been struck by the observations of numbers of people who are outside the organization as well. So I know you, Ms. Tavener, have discussed that you're trying to take the minimal amount of information that is necessary, but what is necessary to make the system work has been discussed by Stephen Parente, University of Minnesota, who studied perhaps the largest consolidation of personal data in the history of the Republic. Do you dispute that?
One thing I would remind the committee is that currently we are used to storing and having personal information on large numbers of individuals, such as in the Medicare program, in the Part D program. We take it very seriously, and we go through the highest security and privacy protections.
I know you take it seriously. The question is whether you're prepared to have this information protected against the kind of and scope of probes that are taking place in the real world today. I'm going to read some observations from some people who, you know, this National Insurance Exchange system will be the largest IT system ever created in our history, and they're not sure how it will work, and they cannot assure the security of this very private data. They are extensive government data sharing systems that lack information security and offer easy access to hackers, identity thieves, and others interested in surreptitiously gaining access to private information. This was Tulia Brass from the Citizens Council for Health Freedom. Nothing like this has ever been done to this complexity or scale, and with a timeline that puts it behind schedule almost before the day it was the ink was dry. This is Richard Howard, who's an advisory firm, the Gartner firm. This is Jim Spatz, a senior advisor at Manet Health Solutions. As crunch time is coming, they're just muddling through and figuring out shortcuts. It might not be elegant, but this is how they're trying to make the law work. These are the observations of some of the people who are outside the system observing it. Are they accurate?
Congressman, I would refute that to say no, because CMS has vast experience. For example, there are nearly 50 million Medicare beneficiaries, and we have databases and systems that operate in an architectural and technical pattern very similar to what the marketplace requires, including, you know, application for enrollment, processing eligibility verifications, checking various sources of data, allowing for people to come back in to report life-changing circumstances, working with SSA to remove them when we receive a date of death notice. I think all of this operations at a very, very super scale level in healthcare, CMS has applied this experience to the marketplace program.
Would you, I understand what you're trying to do at CMS. Are you aware of what's going on today, quantum data too? The testing thing that's being done right now on Wall Street today by the major New York banks?
No, I'm not.
Do you think that your system is more or less secure than that is being put together by the best banks in the United States?
I really can't speak to that because I'm not aware of what they're doing.
Well, they're walking through as we speak with regard to the ability to, that their recognition that they are, in effect, being so remarkably challenged by the ability of complex networks, be they criminal, be they state-oriented, be otherwise, to get into information systems that they have responsibility over. And I'm not sure that I'm aware of any system that has more personally identifying information than your system currently. And the question is the degree to which we're capable of being able to protect those systems. My time is expired, but I'm looking forward to following up specifically on some of the questioning with regard to that. Ms. Tavener, do you have a comment?
The comment I would make is that there certainly is a lot of speculation out there about what's going on inside CMS. And what I know is that the process that we are following, we are used to working, we have lots of experience with working with big data sets, and we are following, going back to the Privacy Act of 1974, moving forward to make sure that we have the highest degree of security and privacy protection. And we are on schedule to get that done.
Do you know, what is the highest degree of security protection? Do you know yourself what that is?
So I know, working with the team, that we start with certain standards that are required by the government, and we follow those standards completely and thoroughly. And then we have a continuous monitoring process. We have a continuous training process.
Mr. Abbott, let me ask a question. When was the last time that you have sat in on a secure briefing by the FBI or the Department of Homeland Security giving you the current state of the cyber threat to data systems in the United States?
I don't know that I've sat in on an FBI briefing. We certainly have briefings inside HHS, and I did.
No. I asked you a specific question. The two agencies that have the specific responsibility to understand the scope and nature of the threat, are you telling me that you are the person who is responsible for putting together what may be the biggest data system of private information in the history of the United States, according to testimony of numbers of people, and you have never been to a secure briefing by the FBI or Homeland Security about the current nature of the threat to data systems?
And I am telling you that I have been to a secure briefing.
With whom? By HHS or FBI?
With HHS.
Well, but that is not Homeland Security, is it?
No, sir.
No, it is not. Nor is it the FBI, who are the two responsible for understanding the nature of the threat. I will pursue my questioning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Clark.
Let me thank you, Chairman Lankford.